See me? There we go. Welcome everyone. Doing time, episode 3. Weapon E.S.P.
What's good? What's good?
Up in the building. How you doing?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Welcome to the pink room. You're up in it now.
I get the last session in the pink room. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Saved it for you too. I knew it was coming. I was like, all right, I got to put him in this spot. I was like, he loves the pink room.
The PVC piping in the background is going good, man. Like I like it.
Yeah, telling you. You know what it's for. We got Moose in the building. We got Will in the building. We got Weapon E.S.P. in the building. Mr. Automatic.
Yeah, what's up?
Peace, Moose. Peace, Will.
What's good? Yeah.
What's good, ESP? How you doing, brother?
Doing good. Appreciate y'all having me, for real.
No doubt, man. No doubt. So, what you been up to? What you been up to? What you been working on? Yeah, what's been going on?
You want to get right into like music I'm working on right now?
If you want to, you do what you want to do. You say what you want to say, but hold off on one thing. Hold off on one thing we want to talk about.
Yeah. Got a lot going on, man. Working with a lot of different people. I'm excited to, drop some music with for sure. Right now, I mean, it's pretty much out in the open. That Genosha and Grimewave have a project we're working on right now. So that's. I mean, you guys are familiar with Grimewave, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So those are my people, and we decided we're gonna combine forces, and we got production from Reese Tanaka on that. So it's gonna be fully produced by Reese Tanaka. Not gonna give away much more other than that. It's coming out crazy right now, and I'm real excited to drop that. I think combining our camps together is just gonna really show what we're made of,
Yeah.
So
definitely.
How many MCs is that?
It's 8 MCs total.
Wow. Wow, that's gonna be crazy.
It is, and everyone's, we all have our own styles, and it's different, and the beats are crazy. You know what I mean? Like Reese Tanaka, if you've ever heard any of his work, I've done a lot with him on Mr. Automatic. He just makes bangers, you know what I mean? So compared to my last album, Tarantino Rodriguez, it's a lot different. It's a lot different feel. It's going back towards a Mr. Automatic feel a little bit, my last one was more like drumless beats, experimenting a little bit with my style. But this one is more getting back to just bangers, So
yeah,
exciting.
Now, what made you want to go that other direction with Tarantino Rodriguez?
I love that style, and I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people aren't down with the no drums and stuff like that. But I feel like it's different for writing. It makes you can challenge yourself more as a writer. You don't have to follow a certain type of flow, and you can really just experiment. It's experimenting and growing as an artist. That's what I feel like it really helped me do that.
Yeah. Right.
Rapping on all different types of BPMs, real slow. Pi May was something 56 BPM or something like that. Extremely slow, way different out of my normal, stepping way out of the box for myself. You know what I mean? And I wanted to prove to myself that I could still make it dope. Prove to everyone else that put the right MC on these types of beats, and you're gonna see why it's dope. So that's what I was going for.
Right.
No doubt. Yeah, I feel like you nailed it on that. You could tell a story in 20 minutes, which a lot of MCs can't do, which is really, really dope. A lot of MCs act like they can do what you do, but you can't. It's so much work. It's so much thought. It's actually an intelligence involved with the writing style, especially when you take it seriously. Yeah, I really enjoyed that project just because of how well you thought it out and painted the picture between Tarantino and Rodriguez as directors, and how they flowed as film directors, and how you pieced it together. It felt almost like those movies. It was cool how you did that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Definitely. A lot of
most definitely, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Moose. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it felt like those 90s movies that they had. It was damn, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So you made it seem effortless.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Those are two of my favorite directors. I felt like I had to, at some point, pay homage, and it was just it was the whole idea of me and Tim working together. We were directors of the project together, kind of. You know what I mean? And we both love those directors. We had so much fun searching up different parts that would go good with the songs and putting interludes together. And he killed it on production. He's literally stepping into a whole new realm. He's gonna be a name that you guys are gonna see a lot more of. Trust me. his beats. Like I see him as like the next Nicholas Craven, like on that kind of range. Like honestly,
Dope.
crazy shit. So,
Word.
Yeah, a lot of
he sent me a
times when I
remix.
download stuff, I just start listening. I don't look at the track list. I mean, obviously I look at the album artwork just because it was so dope.
Yeah.
But I just started listening and I was like, man, this is on some other shit. You know what I mean? Like I just knew it was something different, and it was definitely something to be reckoned with, man. So kudos to you, brother, because
Thank you.
it is definitely well produced and well thought out. And like you said, I mean, the whole Tarantino Rodriguez thing is just so dope.
Appreciate that, guys.
And then stepping outside the comfort zone too, and taking that risk. That's big too, because you're putting your name out there as one thing that you've been doing for so long, and then you said, "All right, I'm gonna go do this," and that was a risky move. It definitely was. But
Yeah, I remember being younger and like always being like, why don't these bands just make the same kind of songs as their dopest songs? You know what I mean? But then as being an artist, you start to get like, I've already done that. Like I've already rapped on that type of beat. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like I could do it again, but like, is that gonna make me pop off any which way different? No, like I've already done it. I've already proved that I could do that. You know what I mean? So it's like now I actually reached new types of listeners that I didn't have before. And I still hopefully kept the ones I already had because they know I'm going to go back and just kill shit anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable. Like, sorry, Brad. Like your devolution all the way through Tarantino Rodriguez. Like the evolution of your style and your music is really evident throughout all your projects. Like, and listening to them all, and I've been listening to them today, and just seeing how you've changed your style up with every single project that you have, but still kept your core value of who you are in the project is really dope too. Like I enjoyed listening to. I own everything that you have that I can find.
I know,
so,
man. You're a huge supporter. I really appreciate that for real. Like you're always one of the dopest things that you do is you'll write reviews on the Bandcamp of how you felt the album was. You know, not enough people do that because like that's like
and they need
to look for that shit. And I'm always like, I'll see other Bandcamps and I'll see you write reviews there too. I'm like, this is dope. You know what I mean? That you do that for real.
Yeah. I really want to truly support like the artists that that actually care about the artwork and hip hop itself. And you're obviously one of those guys. And so I just really enjoy fucking listening to all of the music that Hip Hop Lifers has provided. I found your album Devolution from S, Canadian MC up here in Canada, and then I found Hip Hop Lifers.
That guy's really dope.
Yeah, he's amazing. So he's one of my favorite MCs from up here in Canada, and he shared your album Devolution, and I listened to that beatbox, the organic experiment right away, and I was like, I'm buying this album. Like this is the real deal here, and Hip Hop Lifers kind of opened up the door for like the movement that you guys got going on down there in the Massachusetts area, and some of the best hip hop music I've ever heard. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I found your music through S, and then I found Hip Hop Lifers through you, and so now I'm like in here listening to all this crazy music that you guys make. It's incredible and inspiring shit.
That's dope, man. It's always dope to hear what people like learn about you from too, because he's a dope MC that I respect, you know what I mean? So to know that he shared my music, and then I didn't even know he shared my music, and then now you're, you know what I mean? Now you're listening to it. That's just always cool to hear,
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, you got Genosha Records with Ghost of the Machine, Low Gun. Are you gonna add any more members to that particular side of things, or are you just gonna stay the three?
I think it's kind of like, I don't want to like say the wrong thing, but I feel like it's kind of like we're gonna keep the three, but what we want to do is like, we want to put people's music out eventually.
Right.
When we reach the point where like we feel like we're garnering enough attention, you know what I mean? Like, and everyone would want to buy our shit. We put the right music out, and only the most quality music, obviously, is what we're gonna drop. But there is certain artists that we're gonna be putting music out for, and they're incredible. And obviously, we wouldn't put money behind it if there wasn't. But we're gonna drop their music for them and distribute their music for them is what we want to do. That's the point where we want to be at, and we already have some people lined up for that. But I don't want to give that away right now.
Nah, don't.
But the main three, the people that are like that run the label is me, Ghost, and Logan. You know what I mean? So, but we will be putting other artists out. We will be putting other projects out for other people. So, yeah. So when you go to see our music or go to see their music, then you'll be on our page and then you'll see our stuff and be like, oh, what's this dope shit too? You know what I mean? That's the hope.
Yeah, exactly.
The hope is that it's just going to attract more people to keep seeing all this work that we keep dropping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just rabbit hole. Everybody goes down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And you do that with like an SD Knack, you're going to be going through like 30 albums. You know what I mean? That's the dope thing. Like, that's the hope is that people discover you and then they go back all the way to the beginning and they're like, wow, this guy, how did I not find this guy? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of artists out there, so it's kind of hard to keep your eye on everything out there. I mean, we've discussed on former podcasts before is that there's so much in such a short amount of time that's coming out. It's really, really hard.
You can
really
get forgotten quickly as an artist if you don't just
you can
dumping work. You know what I mean? Like, it's sad that it's like that. It's ridiculous. Like I was just talking to Speak is recently, you know what I mean, not feeling well, and he's like, man,
right.
people are gonna like forget about me. I'm like, no, they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, that's what I said. I'm like, no way.
But
definitely not.
I understand what he means though, because if you don't feel like if you're not like constantly dropping content, constantly, you know, posting pictures or constantly doing something related to your music, then people might just be like, oh, check out this other guy over here who's dropped 3 projects in a month instead of 1 or 3 in a year. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like the output we have to have nowadays, especially like living our normal lives. You know what I mean? It's just wild.
Yeah, you have no time. You have no time to catch up on everything. But another thing is people just put stuff out that's not quality, and they're just throwing crap out there every week. It's ridiculous.
There's also people that are dropping great
fire. Yeah, like every week. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to you got to weed through all 600 albums that come out in 6 months. You know, it's pretty insane.
And DJs will play your song, but they'll play it like for like a couple weeks, and then it's on to like, you know what I mean, playing everyone else's song that's brand new, which I understand, but it's just why it's like you have to keep on pushing new music from like shoving it in people's faces because otherwise they're not going to see it. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's not like back in the day where the radio station played a song for 9 months straight. You know, it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So.
Way too many rappers for that.
Yeah, it's a lot of rappers.
Yeah, everybody thinks they can rap, but they don't understand the mathematics behind it, the actual talent you need.
But there is a lot of good rappers right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say there's not. Like, I feel like there's a lot of good rappers right now. Oh.
Yeah, there are, definitely.
It's like a golden age. It feels like a new golden age of hip hop. There's so much good stuff coming out.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty soon they're gonna have to start including some of those. I wouldn't say newer guys, you know, guys like a Rome Streets, you know what I mean, something like that. Those guys have to start knocking off some of the older heads that were on those lists, you know what I mean, eventually.
Yeah.
Because some of them have more work than those guys on those lists already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're more consistent too.
They are.
Continuous quality, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're not dropping 2-week albums and then, you know, one great one after a couple of week ones. And yeah, that's true. I was
back in the day, they
did
did those in like years. Like, I'll drop an album this year, then 2 years later, I'll drop an album that's not good. Then 3 years later, I'll drop an album. Now it's like you got to put out like at least 3 or 4 albums a year, or you're gonna be like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Right.
So it's wild.
It's the whole YouTube clip.
The words right out of my mouth. Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was thinking. Is man, like it used to be like. I mean, like when you think about somebody like Tribe Called Quest, it was like a new album like every 2 years. You know what I mean? And like you're saying, like, you know, the content has to be there now because, like you said, otherwise they forget about you.
So think about that, right? A Tribe Called Quest. So if they were making an album every 1 or 2 years, right? That means they only write 1 verse per song. So they're doing like a 10-song album maybe, right? They're writing 10 verses. And they get 2 years to do that. So imagine like focusing in my best 10 verses I can do for a year or 2 and making that my album. It's like the quality would obviously be better. You know what I mean? Like it's not that it's not good now. What I mean is like having more time to create like that, but you just cannot do that nowadays. You cannot. You know what I mean?
No. It's life is moving too fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, the pressure is always on.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to a little segment we call What's Your Issue? And do you want to just go off on your issue? Because we all know what your issue is.
But fuck Batman.
Yeah, fuck Batman. Go ahead, just do it. Just go ahead, do it.
I mean,
you got all the you got the platform.
I say what I want to say. I mean, I'm gonna do a review eventually, I think. But the movie sucks, man. It's like Batman and like they did not capture him correctly. There's so many like editing issues in that movie and like plot holes in that movie. It looks really good. So what it like looks really good. So just watching it, you're like you can be blinded by all the terrible things that happen in it. You know what I mean? And like I've had so many arguments with people online about this, but like I cannot, as a comic book head, I can't say it's a good movie, man. I cannot. And I don't really want to give away too much about like certain scenes and stuff like that really piss me off because I want to break it down in a review eventually. Like I'm actually gonna show like scenes in the movie and like pause it and like show why it's terrible. You know what I mean? Like really break
a whole presentation, a PowerPoint presentation for how he hates Batman going on.
I might get it edited and everything like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Things behind me and shit like that, green screen. Like it'll be some wild shit, man. I'm gonna try to make it like super detailed review of how shitty this movie is. I want to make sure everyone really knows how shitty it is. You know what I mean?
Still haven't seen it because you talk about how shitty it is, so I haven't even bothered to see it yet.
People are sleeping in the movie theater. Like lots of people were sleeping in the movie theater. Mad people on their phones. Like this is not what happens in movies for Batman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the most unsuccessful Batman in the history of Batmans. And they're like, oh, it's year 2 though. But he sucks. He didn't do one good thing. Like that whole movie, if Batman was not in the movie, the same shit would have happened. Like, because he didn't succeed at all. Everyone dies. Like, I don't want to give away too much. it's just terrible. He's awful. He's an awful Batman. Terrible Bruce Wayne. I'm done. I don't want to give away too much.
He's gonna stop. He's gonna get too heated up.
Very, very emo Bruce Wayne.
Super emo. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Teenage emo. Yeah.
And he's mad, like skinny as hell. Like, what are you doing? Like, lift some weights, dude. You're Batman. You're supposed to like beat the shit out of people, not get the shit beat out of you, and be skinny emo kid. Like in the movie, he tells Alfred, he's like, you're not my dad. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You're not my real dad, Alfred.
Yeah.
You're not my dad, Alfred.
Like, wow. Yeah, I definitely don't want to see it now.
I mean, you might like it. I mean, like,
thanks.
Without digging into it, like, if you just watch it, like, with like a brain dead brain, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like a popcorn movie.
Like, oh, this is cool. You know what I mean? But if you think a little bit, like, this is terrible. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why did they let him go? Like, why is this guy getting shot and not getting burned? Like, there's things that don't make any sense if you really think about it. But it looks good. I'll say it looks good. You know what I mean? Right. Cinematography and shit is good. But
yeah. Oh well. They fucked Batman up again. Fucked him up again.
Batman. Don't think that I hate Batman because I love Batman.
You just hate that Batman. That movie. Yeah.
I love like the animated movies, the old school Batman movie, like some of them, the Christian Bale ones too. Like they're great, but like this movie was awful. And I hate that people are hyping it up so much as being the best Batman when he's like doesn't make any sense, man.
I think people hyping it up because of the culture that it's in. You know what I mean? Like the people that are hyping it up are all the emo kids that are writing reviews and shit now. Yeah. So they're all the ones that are hyping it up, and there's a lot of them out there. So
I don't think a lot of them have seen like the movie Seven or the movie Crow, because like those movies, like they copied those movies so much with like the darkness in the movie and like the ending of the movie, how he gives himself up. Like it's bad how they copy Seven and the Crow in that movie. And Zodiac a little bit. They copied Zodiac. It's like they took all these pieces from the movie and then they just like edited it awful and made it look really good and hope people would not notice the shittiness of it. You know what I mean?
And threw Batman in it and said it's a Batman movie.
People like get really mad at me about this, by the way. Like they get really mad at my hatred.
I'm sure. I find it hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah,
absolutely hilarious.
It's great.
Because I know it really bothers you. Like it's not even like you're not even fronting about it. Like you're serious.
I mean, some of it's like
it's actually every time I see another post, I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. yeah. I hate this Batman movie, man. It needs to fucking not get any praise. If it wins any awards, I'm gonna be very angry.
Oh, it's gonna win awards. It's definitely gonna win some awards. You know, it's gonna. They're gonna probably win.
Will.
Yeah, probably win like best director or best picture or something stupid. Because again, the culture that it's in,
Awful.
it's gonna win out. That awful culture. Anybody else got any issues they want to talk about? Will, what's your issue?
My issue, man, I was thinking too much about my apocalypse pack to even come up with an issue myself, honestly. But I think my issue would be super teams, NBA super teams, and how NBA guys are getting together to try and create super teams. And I'm happy to see teams like the Nets fall apart. You know, I've been a longtime Lakers fan since Magic Johnson, since I was a tiny little kid. I'm happy to see LeBron, you know, and his whole thing fall apart. And I'm really happy to see Boston, you know, being successful. You know, I'm happy to see those teams that, you know, that they know are building, trying to build something, you know, from scratch. You know, like I'm really happy to see the Mavericks doing good. I'm happy to see the Pelicans battling along with, you know, battling with the Suns and you know the teams that you know that are counted out like the underdogs and there's so much hype around these guys as the greatest players that have ever existed. But I've been around long enough to see, you know, to have seen guys like Larry Bird and to see Magic and Isaiah Thomas and a lot of like I have a lot of issue with people that have a real narrow view of history and how they paint pictures of players today and how they're so much more athletic or they're so much more well trained and things like that. But it's like it was a whole different animal in the 90s, much more competitive, much more. Even in the 2000s, the basketball game was a different thing. And now when I play basketball in the old school 90s way, where I'm trying to get 3-point plays in the old school way, driving to the hole, getting fouled, getting a free throw, instead of like all the kids just lining up at the 3-point line and hucking threes and not doing anything else and not actually understanding the game of basketball. And so I feel like I need to, my wife's been pushing me to be a coach and stuff like that. And so I think I'm going to step into that realm of basketball and start teaching kids like, you know, what basketball is really all about. And and I don't know. That's been my issue. Just watching basketball for the last few years. You know, Steph Curry's like a one of a kind of guy that comes around once in a generation, and everybody's trying to be like him, and they can't be. And so that's been my big thing lately. I get into lots of arguments with people when we play basketball and all that kind of stuff.
I can agree with you on some of it, definitely. I can't agree with you on certain. Like, I do think this is I do think this is the most athletic that the NBA has ever been.
Yeah,
Because there's so many players that are like exceptional on certain. Like almost every team has like someone that's like a ridiculous athlete that jumps.
super, especially in the guards. Yeah,
But
that's true.
I do agree with you that, like, for instance, right, like it is true that I think it's true that they're the most athletic and they have the best training because they definitely have the best training. They didn't have that kind of training back then. They didn't have that kind of like after the game they couldn't get like massage. Like maybe they got massage. I don't know, but they weren't doing the same kind of stuff.
No,
You know
they
what
were
I mean?
fucking drinking a beer and smoking a
drinking.
bogey after a game.
Yeah.
But like you take someone like Larry Bird, for instance, who's amazing, and you put him in nowadays and let him shoot as many threes as these guys do, and he'd be dropping. I think he'd be dropping 50, 60 points games and stuff like that because his
definitely.
3-point average is better. Like he shot a better percentage than they do, even when he shot a couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was only shooting like maybe 3 threes a game, but they shoot like Steph Curry would shoot like 17 threes in a game. You know what I mean? Like imagine like Larry Bird. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if Larry Bird's I don't think he's a better shooter than Steph Curry, but like maybe percentage wise it'd be very similar. And he would be adding way more points onto his game than because of the 3-pointers. You know what I mean? So, but then again, I also think if you took like a LeBron James and put him back then, I think he would dominate as well. So it's like
or Giannis,
Giannis would dominate in any era just because of how big and strong and like powerful he is. He's unstoppable. But like
that's true.
But I just appreciate a lot of these new players. I don't think that they're necessarily better. A lot of their numbers are inflated by the way the game's played now too. But like I do think personally, and I know you guys, I think you probably know I like Luka Doncic, but I do think he is like literally, if he stays barring health, like I think he could like be top 5 player all time. honestly.
Yeah, I
'Cause
saw your
his
post. I
numbers are
could see that
ridiculous.
happening. Yeah.
His numbers are incredible. I just heard today that out of the first 15 games of playoff, anyone that's played 10 to 15, anyone that's played 15 games in the playoffs, he has the second most points in history playing 15 games in playoffs, right behind Jordan. So like, and that's
Same with rebounds and assists too.
yeah,
He's at the very
he's
top.
unbelievable. And
Yeah.
I like him because he doesn't have his team is like I like his team because they're like underdogs and like people like Jalen Brunson that are like flying under the radar, not getting much attention. You know what I mean? Like, what he does with Dwight Powell on that team. Powell's not even that good. Like he's an okay player, but what Luka makes him into is unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, I love that team, man. Mavericks they're my favorite team. Like Celtics are obviously my team too. Like I want them to win, but like I would love to see the Mavericks. Like it would be so cool if the Mavericks were playing the Celtics in the finals. It'd be crazy.
That would be a great matchup. Yeah, I've seen that Powell was only averaging 4 points a game when Doncic was out. Like,
Yeah.
that's the kind of player he is without Doncic, and that
Exactly.
that's cool. Yeah,
Definitely. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you on some of the stuff. The defense was like they were way hard. Like they would hit
Yeah.
guys and stuff when they were going through the lane back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still play basketball like that here. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't call fouls.
Yeah.
On things like
Is there
No.
any other way to play basketball? We never called fouls, man. To be quite honest,
Yeah.
like it was just, you know what I mean. You either get the ball back, or I mean, but we never like nobody ever stood at the foul line and shot foul shots. Like
it's a strategy now. You know what I mean? The strategy is to get
Yeah.
fouled
Yeah.
on purpose. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah,
flopping
free
is
points.
ridiculous, too. Flopping's incredibly good, like whack.
oh my
Moose,
god, yeah.
what's your issue?
Everybody's. My issue is people that can't spell on Facebook. That's it.
Oh shit!
I mean,
Yeah.
I've come to the point where, I mean, listen, when it's something sad, I understand, you know what I mean? Like, because you're not really thinking, you don't have all your wits about you, and you're just maybe posting something like wearing your heart on your sleeve or whatever. But like, when you're just posting something, you have spelling correct. You have autocorrect.
You
And
sure
you
it's not
still
like
don't
slang?
know
Are
how
they
to
doing like
spell.
slang words and stuff though? Are they writing in slang?
No. It's just like there,
There.
two,
Oh,
Yeah.
the there. They don't get the
two.
good words.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
there,
All
right?
oh my, I want to correct it. Like like if someone posts a meme and something's spelled wrong, I correct it. I'm just going to be honest. Like
Oh, you're the editor. You're the Facebook editor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like you can't post something about like something important or something even not important, and the meme is like literally spelled wrong. Like it's
Right.
ridiculous.
Oh, it's bad when the memes are spelled wrong. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the memes are spelled wrong. Like come on, dude. Like you don't even post that shit. Like find the right one. That's it. That's my issue. It's simple. Other than
My
that,
issue-
I'm fucking A-okay.
There you go. My issue is people that almost come to a complete stop when they're taking a right turn. Drives me insane. Drives me totally insane. I don't understand why, but if you're gonna come to an almost complete stop when you're gonna take a right, get off the road, please. Had it happen to me twice today, and I almost hit the person. So, fucking, that's an issue.
You got roid rage over there, man.
Yeah.
Fucking dying on the highway. Don't get me on
That's
the
why
highway.
that's why I moved away
Screaming.
from Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Road rage.
Well-
Yeah. Too much traffic.
Imagine the traffic in Boston, man. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
also sad.
Hell, it's horrible. Providence is nothing compared to Boston.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna move on to Apocalypse Packs. You have your Apocalypse Pack ready, Weapon?
My 4 albums.
Yes, sir.
Yep. You want me to
wanna
go first?
If
Yeah,
you want to go first.
I'll go first. All right. So for hip hop, I got Mad Villainy. That album, I love that album. I think it's classic. It's probably my favorite album of all time for hip hop. For like industrial, I got 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine.
That's a good one.
I love that album.
Great album.
The albums like got me through sometimes back in the day. Got Bob Marley, Kaya. So I'm a huge Bob Marley fan. Like actually reggae music actually like cheers me up. So if I'm not feeling good, I'll listen to some reggae. And he's obviously the best.
Right.
And then for rock, well, it's kind of like grunge. I got Pearl Jam 10. Because like when I was
That's
younger,
great,
I remember
great
back
album.
in the day, I listened to that album so much, like I'll never forget. Like I listened to that album like on repeat for like years. So those are my four.
Good for. Will, you want to go next?
Yeah, I guess for hip hop, I would pick. I had to think about this really hard, but when I was a kid, I was just like this fat little chubby kid with no confidence, and Ready to Die came out, and Biggie was just this big guy that had all this confidence, and I learned how to be confident from that Ready to Die album. So I'll pick that album for hip hop. I really love that one, and I still listen to that like at least twice a month to this day. Just in particular, Biggie's always been my hero since then. And for rock, it's more of the double album from Creedence Clearwater Revival. I love Creedence Clearwater and
Nice.
John Fogerty.
CCR, baby.
I love, yeah, and yeah, reggae Legend by Bob Marley. Yeah, I love Bob Marley too. Like his music. Yeah, for my entire life, I've been listening to Bob Marley. My parents playing that, and and yeah, and I also picked Nine Inch Nails too, but their double album but
Fragile?
yeah, Fragile. Yeah,
That's
I
a good
really
one,
enjoyed
man.
that. Yeah, I love that album for industrial, and I just I loved yeah what he was able to accomplish on doing all of that by himself, making that album.
It's
Such a
incredible.
vast album, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I still listen to that album to this day. But yeah, it was hard to think about all of that all day. Yeah, and I had a whole bunch of questions for
We
you
both
too.
picked the Nine Inch Nails and a Bob Marley. That's pretty
Yeah,
wild, man.
yeah.
Trent
So
Reznor though is like, to me, honestly, like one of the best lyricists. Like I know he does rock and stuff, like, but to me he's like one of the best lyricists. Honestly, he's incredible.
yeah, he's done some incredible music. Yeah, like yeah, it just really spoke to me when I was a kid too. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And from where he started to where he is now, winning Oscars and all that, it's kind of wild. Making music for everything. He making theme songs for like movies and TV shows and all that kind of shit. So it's kind of wild going from a industrial guy to Hollywood guy, but
He
he's
was
doing
definitely
it.
using beat machines back then too, like just like hip hop. You know what I mean? He was making beat machines to make those beats.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, Moose, you're up.
All right, so for hip hop, I got Helter Skelter Nocturnal.
That's a great album.
Because I don't know, man. It's one of those albums that you could just press play and just keep playing it and playing it and playing it, and it just doesn't get tiring. Yeah. So for rock, I had Pink Floyd The Wall, because that got me through a lot of stuff. And oh my God, like it's it's a double album, so you get that you get that freebie by having two albums to listen to. For obscure, because I was trying to think some other genres, because I've already done this once, and I was like, for obscure, it would be Frank Zappa apostrophe Overnight Sensation. If you haven't heard it, listen to it, because it's an amazing album, and it's a compilation of two albums. He was just an incredible musician, and the thing is that he was one of those people that he basically did not let people do drugs or drink during his music. So everybody was completely sober doing all his music.
How did he control that?
Yeah, wow.
He was a complete neurotic about it. Completely neurotic about it.
I know, but if someone like
where,
did some mushrooms before they went to the show or something, then they end up like
yeah, no, I mean, well, no, he was. I'm talking about being a studio musician. I don't know about when he was. Yeah, I'm talking about when he did studio albums. Like he was a promoter of. Everybody needs to be sober.
Completely sober. Oh, okay.
And
Makes
just
sense.
for because an album that always just made me laugh is It's a Rat Pack Live at the Sands.
Me.
As like as a contemporary music / comedy album.
No doubt. My dad actually opened up for. He did a few shows with Frank Zappa when he was younger. He's in a band and stuff like that too. So he told me Frank Zappa was amazing.
Yeah,
So
man, he was an
I
amazing
had heard about
musician.
him from my dad before. That's awesome. That's good.
Cool. And my four, I'm gonna go with for like '80s hair metal. I'm going Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, because
Nice.
that's a good one. R&B, I'm taking it to Motown Philly, Boys
Nice.
to Men.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah.
Come on now,
Great
that was
album.
smooth.
It's a great
That
album,
shit
yeah,
was
man.
smooth when
Yeah.
it came out. Everyone loved it.
Hey, remember, I'm from
Classic.
Philly, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I think they're
Classic rock,
still tops for R&B. Those guys. I don't think there's a
probably.
better group.
Classic rock, I'm going with Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, because
Great
Nice.
album.
great album, excellent songs, just
Yeah.
all around, just lyrics, music, everything about that album's great. And hip hop, I'm gonna take. That's a hard one, but I think I'm gonna take Atmosphere. God Loves Ugly. Think so,
Nice.
because they talk to me, you know. So I really like that album a lot. So
Yeah, it's a good album.
yeah, it's not bad. A lot of they have actually a lot of good albums. So
Yeah, they
Slug's
do.
a Slug's an excellent MC. Excellent. I really didn't even give them much of a chance up until a couple of years ago. And then I just went on a deep dive, and now one of my favorites. So, all right, we're going to move on to our topic of the day. And our topic of the day is going to be ghostwriters. What do you think about them? Should they exist? Should people that spit ghostwritten bars that have all these accolades from it, should they have those accolades? What do you think?
oh, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, you go
So,
first. Guest always goes first.
so I feel like they. I mean, it's like it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. You know what I mean? Like someone like a Drake obviously has a ghostwriter sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I just don't feel like those type of people that like I think Busta Rhymes might have mentioned this before. Those type of people like shouldn't be ranked as like actual like top lyricists, because what's weird to me about ghostwriting is that like with my own music and as an artist, like I want to include all my own interests and like who I am or what I like or what I like to do, like to connect with people, because I want certain people to be like, oh, I know what that is, like, oh, I read that book, or I know this, you know what I mean? My little references I drop and shit like that. If I had a ghostwriter, I wouldn't be able to like even. I feel like I wouldn't even be able to like show who I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't even really understand how people can just take someone else's bars and pretend that who they are. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird to me, but like there's no stopping it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never done any ghostwriting. I've never had anyone ghostwrite for me. The only thing that I can say I've done is I've written things with people. You know what I mean? And maybe I've written something with them, or I wrote a part of it and I had them spit it, but it wasn't like ghostwriting. It was like we were collabing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I've never had a situation where I would never say something that someone just wrote for me, or you know what I mean? It's not. I could definitely do that. Someone's had me kick their rhyme for them, just practicing. You know what I mean? And I can make it work. But I would never do that on a record. I would never. I use my own words because like I'm so picky about what I write. Never mind what if someone else would write too. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a good. I don't like it at all. I don't think it's a good way to even go about doing business.
Mhm.
Like, what are you selling? You're selling your bars now. This guy, somebody's gonna buy those bars, and you better have a good deal, because if it's like Dre spitting that shit, because you know Dre use ghostwriters all the time. He's
That's
gonna
why no
make
one should ever list him as a.
million.
They don't list him as a top rapper. I mean, I don't see Drake
Right.
as a top rapper. You know what I mean? But
No,
they'll list
yeah, neither
Drake
do
though.
I. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll
Mhm.
list
Right.
Drake as a top rapper because of his accolades and shit. But it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
said,
just
there's nothing you can do about it. It's just like people rapping over their vocals. Like the game is not cutthroat anymore. Like, it would be dope if people would just snatch mics out of people's hands and be like, get the fuck off stage. Like stop rapping karaoke shit. You know what I
you
mean?
can't do that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do that anymore because the world is sensitive. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. It's way too sensitive. Yeah.
yeah, back in the
Mhm.
day, like you go to shows and people would be mean mugging everyone. Like it was competitive nature, and that's cool that people are cool with each other now and everything like that. But like, no one's gonna do anything about the ghostwriting. It is what it is. It's out of our hands. It's one of those things that like I don't really try to like get bothered about. You know what I mean? But it's like, I personally will never do it. If so, I would ghostwrite for somebody if they're gonna pay me money though. Like whatever, you know what I mean? Give me some money, I'll write you something, you know.
Right.
But I would never spit somebody else's rhymes, you know. So
Yeah, it's not worth your integrity, really.
yeah.
Exactly.
Your reputation.
Mhm.
That's what it really comes down to. But anyone else have an opinion on it?
Yeah, I agree with Weapon. Yeah, like I don't see it as a, as a proper representation of who you are as an artist or as a person, or like you feel like the Drake music that I have heard, which is not very much. It feels really like bland and really there's nothing, there's no deeper references in there like the way the Wu-Tang Clan does it with their music, or like Weapon, you have tons of references in your music that you have to think about, and stuff that personally about yourself and your experience, and that I feel like ghostwriting just takes away from like an authentic feel of the artist. And like I definitely, you can't do nothing about it, but I wouldn't do it myself. And I'm not a fan.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Weapon as well.
Mm.
I think it's one of those things where I don't think I ever really realized that it was going on. And then all of a sudden one day I was just like, man, I'm looking at writing credits. I don't even remember what album it was. And I was like, wait a second. How did someone else write this person's song? Like it just like I mean, as a person who's loved hip hop since the beginning, I don't even understand it. Like I understand like Prince wrote a song for Rihanna, or like Taylor Swift wrote a song for whoever. Like what that's singing. It's different. You know what I mean? Like emceeing is like you're talking about yourself. You're talking about the things around you. How could someone else portray that for you? It just doesn't it never computed for me. So yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board with consensus.
Yeah, get rid of the ghostwriters. You got anything to plug, Weapon? You got where you gonna be? You got any shows coming up? You got anything possibly dropping soon?
Well, Savage Land 2, we're working on that as well. So that's moving along. We have all those beats for that. So that's exciting as well. And then I hopefully will have another album by the end of the year as well with another producer that I'm not going to mention. But yeah, it's going to be a good year. You know what I mean? Hopefully dropping up to 3 to 4 projects this year. You know what I mean? It should definitely happen. Got a show July 3rd for Hip Hop
July
Wednesday.
3rd.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
Kenosha Grime Wave. So that's going to be crazy. We're going to most likely be doing songs for the new album. You know what I mean? So hopefully have the album out by then.
Yeah, it'd be dope.
That'd be really dope. But yeah, man, just gonna keep on building with more artists and you know what I mean, just progressing and just trying to get better and better, you know. Just trying to build the catalog up to be as ill as possible. That's like really the goal, you know. Because then that's the legacy, you know what I mean? Like I said, someone might discover me 3 albums from now and then go back and be like, damn, what the fuck, what is this? This was good too. What, you know what I mean? Like that's the whole that's what I'm doing it for, you know.
Right.
I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it though, for real. Appreciate that.
Definitely enjoy it.
Very dope catalog already, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
Mm.
Juice Heads is probably one of my favorite albums. So love it. Love it. Can't get enough of it.
That one just flew under the radar for a lot of people, man. I appreciate you plugging that one. Like, I don't know.
I love it.
I need more people to hear that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really dope. I'm surprised it did fly under the radar.
Like
Yeah,
yours and Ghost Dynamic is dope.
Yeah.
Oh, Ghost is incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
I want to plug Genosha. You know what I'm saying? I want to plug Ghost of the Machine, and Logun. Both incredible. You know what I mean? We've been recording at Logun's house, and it just has it's a different feel when we're writing on the spot. And we just have great chemistry together. So anything that we're doing together, if you listen to any songs with me, Ghost, and Logun, like even the ones we dropped already, the ones from like Juice Heads, like 98 Sosa or Cut the Wires, like we just have a real good chemistry together. You know what I mean? So eventually we're gonna have just a Genosha album out as well, because we're just gonna keep building like every weekend at his crib. You know what I mean? So it's going good, man. It's going good. I'm excited.
looking forward to Renaissance, man.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Definitely.
So,
And Logan has an album coming out pretty soon too, called The Renaissance Man.
yeah.
Produced by Farmer Beats. So that's gonna be dope too. It's incredible.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have seen the artwork for that, but the artwork is just insane.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I think we all pretty much saw it on everywhere it's been shared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I gotta
pretty
go
dope.
check it out. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I'll
No,
check that out.
I think I might have shared it like 2 days ago on the page. So, but all right, we're gonna wrap this up because I know you got the Mavericks to get ready to go watch.
Yeah.
Want to keep it short and sweet for you so you don't miss your game. But we want to thank you. We want to thank you so much, man, coming on. Last Pink Room session. R.I.P. to the Pink Room. I know it's going to be sad next week.
I'm blessed, dude. I'm blessed.
I'm working on something though, because if I got mint green in my new place, if I can use green screen, I'll throw pink
Turn
behind
into a
me.
Newport.
Yeah.
Make it a Newport.
Yeah, something. I got to figure something else out.
Make your room into a Newport.
Yeah, right. My man, thank you so much for coming on, Weapon.
I appreciate
Yeah, thanks for being here.
We appreciate
Yeah,
you, man.
thank
We
you
appreciate
so
you.
much, man.
All right, y'all. Have a great
All
night.
right, we're gonna sign off.
Peace.
Have a good
All
night,
right,
guys.
peace.
Doing
All right, later,
time,
guys.
episode 3 in the books.